Hi, welcome to Down to the Wire. I'm Amelia Jones, and tonight I am joined by Marquette Wire reporter Natallie St. Onge to talk about her story for the week about hybrid classes at Marquette. Thank you for joining me, Natallie.
Thank you for having me.
So first, could you define what is a hybrid class?
Sure. A hybrid class is a class that is set by a professor, and it has limitations with face-to-face lectures, and it has more coursework online. So an example and an interviewer that I had in my article was Dr. Efwina Guenova. And so with her, she has 25% of her lecture face-to-face, whereas the rest of her material is online. So that's 75% of her coursework for her students to learn.
And does she notice an increase or decrease within her test scores and the success of her students?
So far, this is her first year doing it. After 19 years of teaching face-to-face, she decided to try something new just to meet the demands of her students. So this is an experiment for her. So far, she says it's good just because it lets the students be more active on their part. So we'll see by the end of the semester. Maybe we'll do a follow-up with her.
And when you talk about meet the demands of her students, were her students demanding that face-to-face lecture was too time-consuming, or they would rather have the flexibility to do it on their own time?
Dr. Efwina Guenova said that she met the demands of her students who were the busiest students. So whether you're a communications major, you're an engineer, anything, students are so busy these days that, showing up for an hour lecture, so they could be doing something else. So by having a hybrid classroom, you could have more time productiveness by setting your own schedule outside of the classroom.
And then did you discuss a little bit in your story about kind of the disadvantages of that, like maybe the professor-student relationship?
Sure. There's a lot of trust that goes into students. So she really has to trust her students that they're going to be active and engage in their learning and learn the right materials the right way. And so that when they do meet, they are prepared and they are well adequate with what they're supposed to be met with and what she expects out of them.
And how many other classes at Marquette are doing this?
There is multiple classes. I did talk to Director of E-Learning, Maria Perez-Torral, and she did say there is an increase. I didn't get an exact number, but there is an increase with hybrid classrooms coming to Marquette.
And now I know I actually took a hybrid class for health, and I had to do service learning, which is like going out into the community and doing service hours. Are other hybrid classes trying to implement maybe like volunteer opportunities or other extracurriculars, maybe like also going to see a Spanish film if it is a Spanish class?
Correct. Having a hybrid class, you are able to go out into the community more and you are able to learn more. You can learn through videos and discussions and emails, and you can talk to a lot more people through the internet and through a community through whatever subject you're learning. So I see that you can definitely learn otherwise.
And do you feel that you found in your research with the story that this is mainly beneficial for classes like Spanish or a language other than maybe engineering or calculus or physics, that maybe having a professor actually say it is beneficial, or does it not really matter what the subject is?
It doesn't matter what the subject is, because the end goal for any hybrid class or for any classroom is to meet the students' expectations for their education and to get them where they need to be in order to be successful in their future. So regardless of if it's face-to-face or if it's hybrid or if it's even just an online class, it's just helping the student to get to where they need to be.
Do you think with the future of hybrid classes that potentially there could be a university that only has hybrid classes?
I think there is a potential, but I also think that face-to-face lecture is definitely still popular and it's still wanted and it's still needed. So we'll see what happens, but I think face-to-face lecture will always be there.
Well, wonderful. Thank you again for all your hard work on the story, and tune in next week for another episode of Down to the Wire. Good night, Marquette.